Hello once again. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Are we tired already? Oh, okay. I'm glad I'm hearing a no that side. In a South African greeting, we normally say sawubona, which means hello. Today I'll be taking through, guys, the consumer decision journey, the things that throughout the years we've used to actually find out more information about our customers. My name is Ngobile, as I've been introduced. I'm Tombeni Nzoia from South Africa. Okay. Sorry. So, let's go on. The agenda for today is identifying and selecting mobile apps to understand shopper behavior. Number 2 will be creating engagement experiences on mobile devices, just to touch more on that. And also how to use the insight-driven narratives and advanced real-time marketing. That's quite important. So I'll touch a bit, because based on my experience, a bit on aviation, because aviation's market is quite different to your normal Msinsi or resort markets, because there's a lot of real speed that is involved in terms of reacting to the trends and reacting to the customer's needs in terms of aviation, because the competition is quite tight as well there. This slide that I showed before, it shows that people are now using mobile apps versus your mobile website. So it's very important to note that the Mobi apps that you use or the Mobi apps that you try and find the information from, which one? Do they actually, your customers that you're trying to speak to or the customers that you're trying to communicate to, which Mobi apps are they using? And it's quite important as well to note that your customers or our customers are very addicted to mobile. You'll find families in restaurants having lunch or dinner, but you'll find that the kids are also on the mobile, whether it's Facebook or WhatsApp, even the parents as well. So whatever content or whatever promotion as marketers that we do, is very important to note that we need to use this platform to actually communicate with our customers. And this is the real-time channel that we might use, that we need to use to make sure that our segments or our products are known to our customers via using this channel, such as Mobi app, if one has. Because I know that for Mango Airlines, we do have the Mobi app that we use. And the challenge that we actually faced while I was working at Mango Airlines is the fact that people didn't know the benefits of using that app. So it's very important that once you introduce your app into your market, they know exactly what are the benefits and why must they use that particular app as your customers. What kind of benefits actually associated with your app. Okay, in identifying and selecting mobile apps to understand shopper behavior, it's very important to know your customers and what kind of apps do they use. If I can just quote one example, at Mango Airlines, we gathered a lot of information via Facebook, because a lot of our customers, that was the most app that was used by our customers. So now it differs for different companies. That your customers, what kind of apps do they use? And also, again, I think it differs what kind of information are you looking for. With us, we wanted to understand via social media, because we know that via social media, people are very relaxed. They communicate a lot. They sort of like share their experiences, and it's Mango Airlines is under your travel and tourism. So people like to share where they go, what kind of holidays they go to, what kind of hotels they want to stay in. So that kind of information for us was very important. And we realized that via Facebook, there's a lot of information, and Instagram, that people will post their hotels that they go to. And that for us as Mango Airlines assisted us into making sure in terms of doing joint campaigns with hotels. What kind of hotels must we sort of like engage with in terms of our promotional activities, in terms of our channels, if you want to touch on our target market. So that is very important. And also, how often do they use that app? Because on Facebook, our segment or our target use Facebook a lot. So the information is quite a lot that they post, and they they visit it quite often. So that for us made sense if we use the Facebook in terms of the app to find out information and learn more about the trends and behaviors of our customers. So again, I've touched on information, what kind of information as a marketer you want to actually find out. Then it's also very important to actually decide what kind of app you need to use in order for you to grasp or to understand your customers' behavioral lifestyle. And some of the examples that I've actually mentioned, Facebook, Google, and Instagram, these are some of the examples that mobile app will have and that companies might choose from. Now, in terms of creating engaging experiences on mobile devices, we've learned it a hard way that is actually quite different. There are different levels. When you engage with your customer, it doesn't mean that your customers are actually having conversation on their own, because now that is actually social media. If a customer is having a conversation with another customer, that's sort of like a social platform. However, as a company, we want to ensure that we create engagement with our customers. And how do we do that? We do that by the kind of content that we have on our app. So I said there is very important that our content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience. So basically, your content marketing is very important. In our app, Mango app, what we upload there is quite very important. So I said there is very important to engage. When I'm saying it's engage, your customers need to sort of like relate with your product. So if you upload or if you have a content, there needs to be a call to action. For example, the content that we normally have, it depends. So if it's like a peak season, we know most people are actually traveling, and it's December time, Christmas time. So it's very important that we sort of like have content that speaks to that season. So for example, we know that in South Africa, in our OR Tambo airport, is normally queues are very long, because most people are traveling. So it's very important that once we have our app, we upload things like you can check online, save time, or tips on how to pack so that you can save on cost on your extra baggage. So those are the kind of things that you need to understand, because by doing that, you will allow your customer, engage with your customers, and they'll know that within your Vio app, you provide a lot of information that are quite relevant to them at that particular time. So to us, it makes sense to speak most about our benefits, because we had a lot of different benefits. Benefits like checking online, benefits like you can use your other credit, beside the credit card, you can use your Edcon card to pay. Edcon is another retail company, clothing company that we have, similar to your Walmart, if other people knows Walmart. So they can actually purchase their airline ticket via stores or using those cards. So it's very important that once you know which season you're in, what benefits you communicate, and so that it's relevant to your customers. So in engaging with your customers is very important, because now it needs to have that end goal. So for example, if I say about checking in, and then I will have like a process, what process of checking in do they need to follow? So that's what I mean by saying you need to make sure that via the apps as well, or your content marketing, it is engaging with your customers. So you speak or you provide the information that is relevant to the customer that you're trying to speak to. And I know that within the customers or within the segments that you're trying to reach, which is your audience, you've got different kind of segments that you have. If I may quote as well, at Mango we had another element which is kids, and it's a very different segment in terms of using the content as well there. So you need to make sure that you have a content that speaks directly or specifically to that segment in terms of getting your message across. So points to remember here is creating the trigger for action. So again, you see it's action. All the points that I have here, all the important points under here, it's making sure that towards the end of it, it needs to be an action. Because once it has an action, that means your customers will be or are engaging with you or are engaging with your brand. Because, for example, if I'm a customer, I know that it is actually better to check online. I'm going to save on time. I'm going to do that. And then obviously towards the end, you'll tell me where exactly what I need to do to check online. So for me, that is an action that I need to do. That this is what I need to do to save on time, and I would love to actually save on time. Therefore, this is what I need to do. And it needs to be clear what the customer needs to do in terms of that. And persuading as well, an action or influencing an action. So those are the points to remember in terms of engaging with your customers. Okay, moving on. Successful content is all about visual, timely, prominent, relevant, and to be recognizable. So a visual in a sense of, as much as you'll provide interesting content marketing, but then again, don't give me a lot of words for me to read as a customer. I might not have time. And it's something that is very attractive and something that I can relate to. So how about having visuals or having things or a video, for example, to show me exactly what I need to do in terms of checking in online? Have things that are timely in terms of, for example, the other one that we used to do at Mango is when we had delays, for example. So when we have delays, we make sure that our content, we upload it, we tell people that there are going to be delays. Instead of using OR Tambo, go to our Lanseria airport and we will provide you with your tickets there. Those kind of things. Because if I'm a customer and I'm getting that kind of information from you, obviously now and then I'll visit your app and I'll make sure that I'm always there, I'm engaging, I'm posting questions, because I know I'm getting relevant information that speaks to me at that time. So again, it's creating a solid call to action, which is quite very important. And also again, in incentives, in your content, you might have incentive, for example, when you just introduced your app and your customers are not used to it. Because then again, from Mango, we learned that a lot of people, when we launched the app, it did not go very well. People didn't know that we have an app. But because there were some incentives that were associated to that, people tried to then, with the word of mouth, obviously word of mouth, to tell their friends that, you know what, use this, because we had a campaign called One Rand Campaign. This campaign was saying, basically, download our app, and then you can actually book your ticket to any of your destination locally for 1 rand. But obviously there was a catch with everything. Returning was a full price, but going there, it was 1 rand. So that we wanted people to actually download our app, so there was an incentive that was associated with that. And it spread like fire. And one of our competitors, FlySafe, last year tried to mimic that, and they copied that, and it was not that successful, because in terms of the processes behind that, they were not in place. Because then again, it's very important that when you have these incentives or you have this campaign, your backup or your back office processes and your staff know exactly what they need to do. So again, the point to remember here under incentives, you need to be very creative. You need to wow your customer. It needs to be appealing to that specific segment. Because what might appeal to segment A might not appeal to segment B. So it's very important exactly to understand who you're trying to talk to in order for you to have a proper and a specific incentive for that market. And of course, relevant. Okay, this search was done, or this report was done by Google. And the incentive can prompt renewed app usage. The most that came up top was the discount or coupon towards your next purchase. So This, in terms of the incentives, according to the report that they provided, they said that people, if they were receiving discounts for their next purchase of tickets, it worked wonders. So it was a more successful way or successful incentive rather than providing monetary or other prizes in terms of that. Now, using insight-driven narratives and advanced real-time marketing, what do our customers expect, okay, from us as companies? They expect from us to respond quicker to their questions and queries. They're expecting real-time content from us. Things like, if you know that there's going to be a delay, because sometimes delay, as airlines will know, like 2 hours before time, please make sure you upload accordingly and let me know if there are going to be delays. So if they knew on time, or if they know like in an hour's time that they're going to be delayed, chances are they're not that mad compared to the fact that they were not told about it. So it's very important that we provide real-time content in such a way. Number 3 is actually not do lose, but do not lose touch on what is currently trending. So that is very important as well. These are some of the expectations that they're expecting from us as actually customers in terms of that. And the benefits that are associated with that, it brings brands and audiences closer, because then I can trust you, I can depend on you, I can take your word. And if I can take your word on that, there's so many things, and it goes a long way in terms of customers trusting your brand. And then again, it increases the engagement with your customers. So now and then, they'll visit you and want to know what is happening because you're providing what exactly they need. So that is a good benefit as well. And also, it's a better customer experience. Competition is very high, and you wouldn't want to lose a customer. And losing a customer and trying to get back that customer that you've lost is very, very difficult and expensive. So you try by all means at all times that the experience that your customers have with your brand is quite good and better at all times. So in conclusion and summary, in terms of that, real-time content meets what the most important elements, actually. Timely, meaning timely conversations and trends. Whatever conversation that you have, it needs to be relevant. If it's Christmas, tell me things about Christmas, because as a company, you know the needs of your customers. What do they need over Christmas? They buy gifts, they go away on holidays. Obviously, some people go with their families. So tell me about hotels that will accommodate the kids, what my kids will do during the holidays if I go to that hotel. Tell me things that are relevant, that I would like to hear during that time. If it's time for exams, kids at school are writing exams, I wouldn't want to know more about taking the kids out and what activities, because obviously kids are in school. But during during school holidays, obviously I'll be traveling and I'll need to know that kind of information relevant to that. So that's quite important as well. And brand priorities need to be relevant, what you prioritizing that time. And in terms of audience interest, you need to know what are you speaking or what you're touching on in terms of that as well. So these are the important things that needs to be considered and what we've learned over the years. Thank you so much.
Another great talk. Thank you very much. Questions from Billy?
Yeah, here we go. Oh.
Thank you.
I just want to find out, do apps work for all categories? I mean, can any category develop an app, or does it work for specific industries only?
What I've learned over the years from my experience, for me, it's different companies and the different segments that you are trying to talk to. Because if I can just use an example, for Mango Airlines, the lower LSMs, it did not work in terms of the app. and it works for certain LSM. So it doesn't work all for LSMs. I don't know in different countries, but I'm talking about South Africa. That's why even now we're still struggling to overtake your Facebook or to overtake other apps. So I think it depends what kind of product you're selling, and also again to what kind of, or to who rather. Because with this app, with a lot of businessmen or the upper LSM from 6 to 10, it worked well. Because those are the people that will want to know what is happening. If there's a delay and I've got a business meeting, let me know so that I can let those people that I'm supposed to be meeting that I'm running late. So to answer your question, it actually depends on those kind of things. And that's where as South Africa, most of the South African countries are still struggling, because I think the customer or the market itself, it needs to go through educational. I think the awareness and the benefits, companies need to actually address that and make sure that the market or the people within the market they're trying to market to, they understand the benefits of the app.
Great, thanks, Nabili. I know with apps, I work for an energy company. We sell gas, electricity. It's very hard for us to engage with customers, and we've developed an app, and customers are now sharing more information with us. So it's a great information source for insights people, as well as just to connect to the customers. So I stand here between you all and lunch, so I know that's not a great place to stand.